Figured I'd do this one outside. It's Easter Sunday. It's a nice, sunshiny, warm day. And what better time to do one outside than on Easter? So I just got back from services at my church, and what I'd planned on saying, completely out the window. As the service was going, things were going in my head. I guess you could say God was talking to me, and I'm gonna have to wing this. So if I kind of stumble and stutter more than usual, that's why. But today we recognize the resurrection of Jesus. The man that from the moment of his birth, ruffled feathers, turned things upside down, made people nervous, made people rejoice. This one man, just his birth brought the Magi. No one knows exactly who they were, where they came from, but they traveled. They traveled just to come see him. On the flip side, his birth led to the murder of countless male children. And nothing changed from the moment he was born up to what we remember today, his resurrection. This man totally, 100% changed the world, changed the church, changed the world, changed everything. 2,000 years later, and he's still arguably the most famous person to ever walk the planet. So, like I said earlier, what I planned on saying today is that's out the window. I was sitting at the service and God rewrote everything. So again, I'm just kind of winging this. So, a man 2,000 years ago rewrote the world all the way to the point his birth changed how we measured time from BC to AD. Everyone knows BC, before Christ. AD stands for Anno Domini, which is Latin for the year of our Lord. I don't know about you, I kind of like that thought. I really do. We are now 2,119 years of our Lord. So this man changed how time is measured. So many times, whether you're a Christian or not, the idea of change is scary. It doesn't really matter exactly what it is. I know someone that struggled, really spent days battling with themselves over whether to change their satellite television provider. Something as simple and minute as that in life. And people are so afraid of change. They struggled with it. So, yet when we become Christians, it's part of becoming a Christian. We ask Jesus, come into our lives, change our hearts. But yet when Jesus says, okay, here I come, hang on, we fight it. Any changes in our lives and our hearts Jesus wants to make, we fight. Most often when we ask Jesus to come into our life, a lot of times who our friends with, who we associate with, God starts to kind of work to get any of those bad elements out. the bad elements that we have become accustomed to, that we know. So when God says, okay, you want me in your life, you want me to change your heart, you want me to change you, here's where we start. We say, wait a minute, hold on, whoa, but I'm comfortable with that. I don't want to change that part. I want you to change me, but don't change me. So today we honor and remember the resurrection of a man who changed everything about the world. But yet dig in our heels and balk when it comes time for him to change us. The very thing we asked him to do, to change us, we balk at that. But yet in life, just everyday life, we change the channel on the TV, no question. Hopefully, every 3,000 miles, hopefully, you change the oil on your car. You change lanes on the freeway. You know, so many changes we make without even thinking about it. And yet, little ones, like your satellite TV provider, you struggle with, you balk. It's like, I don't know. And the big one, when Jesus says, okay, you asked me to come into your life, you want me to change you. Let's go. Rolls up the sleeves, let's clean house. We say, wait a minute, but I like that. I want you to change my heart, change who I am, but I want to keep living how I was. It can't happen that way. Jesus dared to try and change the church. He ruffled feathers. He came in and said, look, how you're doing this is not right. The Pharisees decided they were going to take the 10 Commandments and make added little rules to it. Things that they thought needed, were omitted, that weren't there. And they got ridiculous with it. They were making rules for rules. I read one time that from the initial 10 Commandments, the Pharisees and church leaders had amassed over 600 different laws that to be a good Jew you had to obey. 600. I mean, they had made a rule of how many steps you could take on the Sabbath before it was considered work. Okay? The 4th commandment, honor the Sabbath and keep it holy. All right, that one does go on. It explains, no ox, nor animal, no work. Okay, fine. But at this point, the Pharisees had decided, okay, we're going to take it upon ourselves to decide how much you can do before it is considered work. So they made a rule for a rule. And along comes Jesus and completely turns that upside down, ruffles feathers, but changed it. Changed the world. Changed time. Changed the church. So on this Easter Sunday, again, beautiful day, blue sky, had a few clouds way off in the distance. But on this Easter Sunday, whether you've been a Christian for 50, 60 years, 50, 60 days, or 50, 60 minutes, when we ask Jesus to come in and change our heart, change our lives, let him do it. It might be, it's sometimes a little painful. Sometimes you might really kind of go, that one pinched. I don't want to do that. I don't want to get rid of that. But if you let him change you. Let him change you into the person he knows you can be. It's not so much the person he wants you to be, the person he knows you can be. All you have to do is open your heart and say, okay, I'm ready for the change. I'm ready. It won't be easy. I never said it would be. We all have that baggage that is very near and dear to us. It's detrimental to us, but it's still near and dear to us. It's that baggage that Jesus is trying to get rid of. It's that baggage he's trying to change into something good. Let go of that baggage. Let go of what you were. Let go of who you think you need to be. Let it be who God knows you can be. On this Easter, as we celebrate Jesus' resurrection, the man who totally changed the church, totally changed the world, allow him to totally change you.